Hoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo. Hoo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Hoo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Beard Grizzly. Beard Grizzly. Here's our guest. Ba-doo-doo-doo-boop. Wow! You sound beautiful. You have such a great, just the dulcet tones of Beard. Oh, it's like a lullaby for the soul.
Well, that's probably the best way to put that.
Is there any other way you'd put it?
I sound stupid.
I don't think you only sound stupid when when you're yourself. But other than that, I think you sound great, dude. So full of charm, riz, as they say these days. Yeah.
I don't know why I can't type this password right.
Which one is it?
The one for the Valheim server.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
It's that second double D that gets you.
I don't know. I think I'm probably putting like another capital on the second double.
Yeah. It's tough not to do.
Yeah. Which, oops.
So sometimes I'll record a really dumb song to start things off, but I always give the option if you want to create your own intro for the episode, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 5, 4, 3, 2, take it away.
My name is Beard Grizzly. I am a grizzly, and you guys can take that to the bank.
Hey, to the bank. Dude, that was beautiful.
Was it?
Yeah. I've heard, good? Dude, I've listened to music, dare I say, most of my life. Yeah. Nothing has touched my soul like that. John Williams, eat your heart out, dude.
Yeah, that John Williams guy needs to just give me all of his stuff at this point. He's just a poser. I don't know.
Yeah, some would say a composer. Emphasis on cum. Okay.
Of course there is.
Yeah, I know. We were at this art thing for my daughter. I don't know if I told you about this, but there was a guy there they had piano music playing John Williams music, and I was like, "Oh, this is really nice." And I turned, there's actually a guy with a huge piano in the corner playing it live the whole time. And I was like, "Holy shit!" It was it was beautiful.
Right.
That was the love theme. What's the really big? Was it episode 2? Is it the Clone Wars?
I'm gonna say wah 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 wah.
That's the one. Yes.
Yep. That's the love theme.
And I legitly was like, I'm gonna tear up. Like, this is beautiful, man. There's just a bunch of kids running around being insane, eating cookies and looking at finger painting, and I'm like, this guy is a goddamn treasure.
And you guys aren't even listening to him. What's wrong with you?
Exactly. You don't appreciate anything, you little shits. So then I started beating everyone else's kids.
Ah, perfect. That's the only way to do it. Because quite honestly, if they don't get disciplined, they're going to grow up wrong.
What's your favorite way to beat kids? Let's get into that.
My favorite way to beat kids is with the belt of democracy.
Ooh, could you describe the belt of democracy?
The belt of democracy happens to be a 500 kilogram bomb.
Oh yeah, I think that would teach the kids a little lesson.
I think it definitely would. You know, the first one ends up seeing the one just crumple into a pile of mist, and it seems to get the point across.
Yeah.
I don't quite know why, but it works.
For some reason, when you said the belt of democracy, my brain immediately sang it to the tune of Cult of Personality, and it works perfect.
I hate that.
But in a way you don't.
Nope. Now there has to be a what would the Helldivers band be called? Would it just be called the Cult of Democracy? No, that's too on the nose.
Yeah, I mean, Eagle Sweat is a great band name.
It is true. It is.
But that's the. I really want a bottle of, or what did it? Do you think it's a spray bottle, the old Eagle Sweat, or is it a dry rope? What am I trying to say? Is it like a deodorant or is it a spray, do you think?
Or are we thinking more like a I don't know, maybe it's like bathwater, like Belle Delphine,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you have to get like your own spritzer for it or something.
So there's just a bunch of eagles wearing bikinis doing hot tub streams. Is that what you're saying?
I could see this.
Okay. Yeah, when I close my eyes and really picture it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.
Eagles, hot tub stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What would it... There's got to be... Now, ads on Twitch. Sometimes they're a little hit and miss. But in the Helldive universe, if that was still a median, I mean, the ads for Helldiving recruitment on Twitch would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. I could see it. See it because all of a sudden it would just be like, look at you sitting there being grossed in and invested in this stream. You must serve democracy well, don't you?
Well, 97% of them would be like sponsored by, by the Helldivers recruitment facility. The Ministry of Truth has sponsored this stream. So would it be a bunch of like subtle text inside, or just like the regular like, hey y'all, thanks for following me. Everyone, make sure you go check out Helldivers and go to your local recruitment office.
Don't forget to get your new helmet for Liberty Day, because if you don't, then you really don't understand how democracy works.
No, actually, I bet the Twitch streamers wouldn't be pushing for recruitment. It'd just be a bunch of charity streams for the ammo and the hell bombs and everything. Do your part for the war against the bugs and the automatons.
Yeah, really. No, I could
follow this
link. See that.
I'm trying to remember. There was a number somewhere that like one of the devs came out and it was like for every stratagem you use is like X amount of millions of taxpayer dollars. And we're out there just going, yeah,
yeah, really.
Oh, there's nothing here, and we're extract. Better throw $8 million worth of taxpayer monies around just for the lulz.
Well, you know what they say: the best way to carry on the war for democracy is a strong economy. Spend your excess cash today.
Oh, have you heard? I guess one of the updates. There's an actual like Super Earth theme song, like a theme for it, like a national anthem. Yeah, have you heard? Yes. Have you had that one pop up yet?
I have actually known about the anthem since the release of the game.
Well, fucking da.
I know. I'm just a piece of crap. No, the data miners have actually done a bang up job of finding some stuff, and that was one of them that they found hidden in the codes, and people were clamoring for them to like actively put it in the game somewhere. So when it happened, I was happy to see it.
When you do the raise flag mission, is that the instrumental version of it? And then there's words to that? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you can sit on the Super Destroyer for like 5-10 minutes probably, and you'll be able to hear it. But it's a very cool theme.
Do you have it memorized? Could you sing it for me now and take it away? A 1 and a 2 and a
no,
1, 2,
I don't
3.
have it. I don't have it memorized.
Okay, make it up then. A 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3.
Freedom is here to save Super Earth.
Oh, Super Earth.
Save democracy.
Oh, that
all
democracy.
Of you will, or we will be taken over.
Oh, there. We don't want that, y'all.
No, nobody wants that.
That was pretty good. Like, I don't think I even need to hear the actual theme now. I was going to Google it. Don't need to now. I think that was better.
It's okay.
I'm going to send this to Arrowhead, and they'll. I think they'll implement your version into the game. Yeah. I really hope that we're doing the raise flag mission, and all of a sudden I just hear your voice, just awkwardly singing to me.
All I can say is it would certainly make things a lot easier on the file size, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, that's true. Listen, we're doing you a favor, Arrowhead.
Yeah, we're saving you a little space in the game, less compression. We know you had to code for that shitbox of a system we all call PlayStation. Mm-hmm, so just saving you some disk space.
Yeah, we're here for you. If you want to redo all the voiceover work, we'll do it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. You just got hit by a hell bomb and you got thrust into a wall, but you didn't die. Take it away. That was great. Okay, let me try. Okay.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's pretty good, except
Okay.
for the noise gating, but it's okay.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it'll be fine on my side. Discord cut it out for you, so.
Yeah, exactly. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Stupid Discord having to be like,
Freaking
well, we
Discord.
don't support censorship, but we do, especially when it gets really loud.
Yeah. I think the third Will episode, he went back and listened to it, and he's like, "There was a lot of stuff I missed because Discord cut it out." So I was like, "Oh, hey, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that." Oh my God! Well, Mr. Beard Grizzly.
Yeah.
Can I call you? Can we just say Beard, or do you need the Mr. in front of it? I don't know how you're feeling.
Mr. Beard Grizzly, greatest bear who ever lived is probably the best way to introduce me.
Okay. Mr. Beard Grizzly, greatest bear that's ever lived.
Yeah.
Where do you hail from, my friend?
I am from the great north of Pennsylvania, which is not really the great north, so, don't at me or anything.
Well, every state has a north side of the state, so are you from the northern side of Pennsylvania?
No, I'm in the southeast.
Oh, well, you're just a piece of shit now. God damn it.
Everybody knew that already. This is nothing new.
What's the big thing Pennsylvania is known for besides obviously yourself, Mr. Beard Grizzly, the greatest beard the greatest grizzly that's bearded the world? Yes.
I like it. We'll keep it. Let's go with it.
Nailed it.
Well, over on my side, there is this little brewery that's called Yingling. They've been making beers since. Yeah, it's probably the oldest brewery I think in the country. The more I think about it,
Well, that's something to be proud of.
At least the oldest in Pennsylvania that I know of.
Yeah.
But it's definitely definitely one of those. There's also somewhat close. You've got Knoebels, which is a coal mine that's still on fire. That's always fun.
Oh yeah, I know about that one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Knoebels is semi-known. It was there's everybody says about Silent Hill and everything. There is definitely some connection between Silent Hill and Knoebels, or at least some pieces taken from it. So there's that.
No.
What else do we got over here? Well, of course we've got the city of brotherly stupidity, Philadelphia. I hope absolutely everybody takes that personally.
Good. I mean, great sandwiches.
Yeah. You know what? Very fair. If the sandwiches matched the actual feelings of everybody, it would be a shit sandwich, though.
Well, if you look at it this way, the sandwich does kind of match because a good Philly cheesesteak, right, is messy.
True.
And I think that's a good word to describe the city itself, right?
Yeah, I could go with that. Okay,
a hot, steamy pile of flabby meat.
Yeah. You know what? I'm starting to catch on to this.
All right,
let's keep going with it. Nice.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. What else? What else is Pennsylvania kind of known for here?
It sounds like Transylvania. That's the thing that's always happened.
Well, that is true. There's no vampires out here that I know of.
You should get out more at night.
Well, that's a fair point. I mean, to be fair, Pennsylvania is also very old. There's a lot of crazy, stupid, nutty ghost stories that surround the area. Being close to one of the older towns, I can definitely say that is something that is, for whatever reason, very popular out this way.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I have actually had some very heavy experiences, so I have no choice but to believe in ghosts.
Tell me a story with that, man.
Well, the house that we've been living in since I was a kid is a 250-year-old home. It's a half a double. There's been a lot of things that have actually changed about it, though, because it used to be a home for 6 apartments, and it's actually broken down from there. So there's basement, first floor, second floor, attic. The basement was the basement, though it was always split in half. The first floor, second floor, and attic were the 6 spots for the apartments. However, there was one family in, I think it was 1930 or something like that. They had a mentally disabled kid. And like this is classic ghost story bull crap.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to say this right now. Mentally disabled kid had problems, learning disability, the whole nine. And the mother beat him senseless. And I've never personally had any problems in the house. But there's something that's here. At the corner of my eye and everything like that, you'll always end up seeing some stuff. And there's some things that I planted that I would hope would move, and they kind of have. I haven't really figured out any trigger objects or anything like that. I've been in this house for over 30 years. There is nothing wrong with being here at all.
Yeah.
So I have no idea if it's the kid that got beat, or if it's the mom or anything like that, but it's nothing malevolent.
Well, let's try tonight. Tonight when you go to bed.
Yeah.
I want you to sleep ass in the air. Okay. And right before you go to, and put a paddle next to the bed.
Yeah.
And before you fall asleep, just be like, I've been naughty, mommy. And that way you'll know if it's the mom or not.
That's fair. That's very true. One way that I could do it. Think I'll pass. However.
Oh, okay.
I will see if I can find anybody else that might be interested in doing that.
Well, listen, I mean, if you're not willing to do the experiment yourself, you shouldn't even bother.
Yeah, but I could always pay somebody.
Or you could do it, and you could record it, and then you can send it to us.
Oh, I see where this is going.
What do you mean? Where do you think this is going?
I think he just wants to blackmail on me, that's all.
No.
Live on air, folks. Blackmail.
No. Get your blackmail here. Step right up. I'll get your blackmail. Fred out of the press. No, I just, I want it for masturbatory purposes. I mean, for science reasons,
For science reasons.
Yeah. Well, if anyone else out there has some really good ideas, go ahead in the podcast questions and feedback channel after this episode goes live. Have you got some ways to help figure out if it's the child or the mom?
Yeah.
Along the lines of what I said, equally scientific. Yeah. Let's hear those ideas.
I'm sure we can figure something out.
We're going to get to
There's
pause
no reason
bottom
we can't.
Of this. Hey. Hey.
See what you did there.
Thanks, dude.
There is another very good instance, though, that I had. Or I didn't have, but I've been told about it a couple times now. But it was another thing that Pennsylvania is very known for at this point in time. Gettysburg. If you are not familiar with the Battle of Gettysburg, it was July 1st, 2nd, 3rd of 1863, and it was the bloodiest 3 days of battle in the Civil War. And there is a spot called Devil's Den. Devil's Den was basically your classic Sun Tzu would be unhappy with the Confederacy battle. The Confederacy of the South was trying to go up this hill called Little Round Top. The Yankees were up on the Union Army, were up on top of the hill. And the Confederates said, let's charge the hill.
Always a good idea.
Yeah, needless to say, not a very good idea. In short, the Confederates got ran down the hill again, and they were basically routed through that whole spot. So you'd figure if anything's going to happen, there's going to probably be something that would be like over in an area like that. Like that vicinity is just littered. It was littered with corpses. There were the dead and dying were there for days after the battle had stopped. Long story short, on what it has to do with what we're talking about here. This happened on a time where my family went to an anniversary day or anniversary time for the battle, and it kind of freaked them out a little bit. The problem is there's so many reenactors that are over there that it's hard to always discern if you have an experience where it's a reenactor.
Oh, yeah, and they don't go outside very much, so they're super pale.
It doesn't help anything.
Yeah. They look very ghost-like. Yeah, I totally get it.
No, there's actually a lot of reenactors that make it their job, and they go from place to place, which is stupid crazy. They get paid a fair chunk for that stuff. Some do it for hobby, others do it as actual payment for stuff, though, which is I don't know how that works, but it works.
Yeah, there's one thing reenactors are there for. It's the experience, and they are into it.
Oh, heavily. But there was this one person that walked up on my family, and they said, "Quick, you got to get out of here. The Union's coming." And it was this Confederate soldier that was dressed from head to toe, full Confederate garb and everything, gray uniform, in case you're still confused.
Yeah,
and are familiar with the what? I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the listeners.
Sorry, yeah, listeners, you're dumb. Ha ha, idiots.
They didn't use automatic weapons in those days. I know it's crazy, kids. Anyway, the biggest thing though is that he said, like, get out of here, they're coming, and my parents just brushed it off and whatever. He tore off running and went around a corner, and it wasn't too far, and my folks were able to like turn the way, like maybe 5-10 seconds later. There was nobody there, and there is nowhere within the spot that they had that you could like hide or anything. There was no easy out to just disappear in 5 or 10 seconds. So it's at least a very weird circumstance.
Absolutely.
And without being there, it's hard to say whether it was or not. I still say that's one of the biggest things with paranormal. There's a lot of things that are exaggerated. Absolutely, 189% there are.
Since the
totally
beginning
made
of
up
time,
statistic
that's what humans
in my
do.
head.
We love to exaggerate.
I'm going to say banshee screams. Actually, it's just a fox in the woods getting torn apart. But
yeah,
you know.
Siren calls. You just fell asleep at sea and didn't want to admit it. It's okay.
Yeah, seriously. But the
taxes. Tell me about
But that's one that I think kind of sits in my head, because they don't tell yarns, and I can usually tell when they're joking, and that was not a joke.
Yeah. That was, if you were there for that, that would super. What are the words I'm trying to say? That'd shake you to your core, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that definitely it didn't nuts them up, but it sure did make them go, what the heck just happened? So it was a curious one. Definitely a curious one.
Yeah, I've never really had any experiences with that stuff, so it's tough for me to. It's like I want to believe. I really do. I do believe in fairies. I do. But yeah, I mean, without experiencing it, and then anytime you try to watch one of the fucking ghost hunter shows, you're like, you guys are stupid. It's so over the top. You're like, I don't know. And like you said, people exaggerate stories all the time. So unless I experience it myself. Maybe when I go to bed, I'll stick my ass in the air and leave a pat. I will do it for science for you.
Okay, that works.
I'll just come to your house, and I'll just sleep there tonight. And, and I'll just do the whole paddle thing, and I'll find out for you.
That'll probably work. That's probably better off instead of me having to do it.
Now, if I go back in the footage and I just see a bearded man wearing old lady clothes spanking me over and over, I'm still not going to be upset.
Did I know that's what you were going to say?
Dude, my safe word is keep going. Oh, well, Mr. Beard Grizzly, the greatest grizzly that's ever experienced life in this world. Thank you so much for blessing the world with your existence. We're going to go back here to a dark time for you, okay?
Oh, okay.
So you joined the Discord in February of this year, right?
Yes.
So you've not been in the Discord very long, but me and you go back further than that.
Yes.
To a time of guardians and light and darkness and
we're going back to this point in my life. Okay.
I know. Well, because you haven't been in the Discord that long, so we got to get the story, man.
Well,
how did
I understand?
How did we cross? I'm trying to remember the exact moment me and you crossed paths. I'm going to look up one thing. Well, you see if you can remember when it was.
I don't remember precisely when it necessarily was. I know, at least like on the internet, it was like through Twitter and whatnot. And I think that was the major point that at least I had met you or talked with you. You had been streaming as well, and I know I was jumping in there off and on just to say hi and so on. Those are the major points that I can remember. And I know that you and I had met over at Guardian Con 1 year.
2019.
2019, yeah.
2019, baby.
Yeah, that is 5 years ago, almost.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I remember, I'm trying to find when he did the JSG podcast real quick, but the way I remember it, because again, it's been years, so it's a blur. Right. And this is the way it goes with a lot of people, is I discover them and I get obsessed with them and I go, I will not leave you alone until you decide to be my friend. So I think I was just looking up Destiny podcasts and the lore. Crap, what was the podcast called?
Well, I was on with
the one with Green Eye with Music Lover and
it was Focused Fire Chat was
Focused
the main
Fire
one I
Chat.
was on.
That's the one.
I had shown up as a guest a couple times with Myling Games or whatnot for Destiny Down Under. That was
yes.
That was the other one I was on once in a while.
But yeah, so I was looking up podcasts, and I mean, you have a great voice, obviously.
Still don't know why you think that, but okay,
buddy. And let me list the ways. 1, my nipples erect. 2, but and I'm the way you explain things, and you just I'm very much pick up on people's excitement for things. So like you'd get super stoked about a piece, of something going on with the game and discovering this or that. And it wasn't like the over the top dumb, YouTube, like, listen up guys, you'll never believe what I just discovered. It was just like, you could just tell you like, this is exciting for me,
Mm-hmm.
And so I hooked onto that and then went to a couple of the live shows and, you're handsome as hell. And, yeah, I think it was literally just anything you did, streaming, or I joined your Discord. I mean, the big point was getting you on the Just Some Guardians podcast. When I find that episode, I'm scrolling through everything.
That was a while ago.
That was a long time ago. But that was such a huge moment because me and you, I don't think it had a sit-down chat before that episode.
I don't think so. I know that we had talked like off and on a couple of things, but no, It wasn't like anything heavily serious.
No, and it was super exciting. I know Sandbag Bob or Nick. Yeah, he was on there and he was just like, "You got who to be on the show?" Super fucking excited. And you just answered every question. And if you didn't know anything, you're like, "Here's where you might be able to find it," or "I'll go figure it out." Then you DM'd us later with the answers, and it was just awesome. It's so golly, there's so many episodes here. I don't even remember what oh, there it is. Episode 33, July 21st, 2018.
Oh.
Was the first time me and you had a one-on-one chat.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I know we had that before we did we met up at Guardian Con. So.
Yeah, because we definitely got closer before Guardian Con because I was super fucking excited to meet you there. And we hung out for a little bit there. I have a beautiful picture. But yeah, it's mostly, I think I just have not been out. I just haven't left you alone. Anytime you were streaming, I was in there going, oh my God, it's Beard, and just super excited and DMing you randomly and just like, hey, just thinking about you. I wouldn't let you forget about me. That's how I keep my friends.
I'm going to say, considering that if I go to my channel here, it's been
1 week since you left.
Over. Yeah, it's been over 3 years since I've made content. So
on YouTube.
Yeah.
When's the last time you streamed on Twitch? There's a while there you were doing Dead Space for a while, and a couple other things here and there. You'd pop up.
Yeah, I did Dead Space. I did a couple others. I was doing Remnant for a stream or two so I could capture some footage because I had just upgraded the PC. I was doing a few different things, and I know that I had a little stint there after I quit making VOD or video on demand content, YouTube content, whatever. Where I did just stream to Twitch, and that was a good time. But
yeah, those were super fun.
It just kind of fell off for me again. Ironically, I think it was Dark Souls streams. They just really took it out of me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, it was the first Dark Souls. Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3, I could play without a problem.
Yeah.
But Dark Souls 1 and 2 do something to my head that make me so incredibly depressive. It's just not even funny. And it's like I'm used to getting beat up and tossed in the dirt or whatever when it comes to games. Like, I'm fine with a challenge. The challenge isn't the problem. So I don't know what happens with those games, but just in general, something doesn't click.
Yeah, no, I can see that, especially when you're streaming and you it's that thing in the back of your head where you know people are watching it too. It's like, it just really gets you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, just your number one supporter, constant DMing you. Just want to see how you're doing, thinking about you. And you're like, fucking leave me alone, guy.
Well, and do you remember what happened that all of a sudden I was in the server?
I do. Yeah. Come earlier this year, which is the first 20 minutes of the podcast. You're alluding to random stuff that, unless you play, you have no idea what we're talking about there. But
really,
Helldivers 2 launched. I'm sure anyone who games, even if you're not playing it, has heard of the game. And surprisingly enough, it's a game that I did not expect one Beard Grizzly to get into. And I don't know, how'd you know that because I didn't stream it, I don't think, ever when it launched. How did you find that I was playing it and then jumped into the server?
Because your thing on Discord said for Super Earth.
No way. That's what did it?
That's what did it.
Oh, fuck yeah, baby. So you're just going through your Discord and I was in your friends list and you saw that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's all it was. I was just kind of looking through. I was like, who haven't I talked to in a while? And then I saw that and I was like, oh shit. Him and I need to talk more, I guess.
I'm so glad that happened, because ever since you joined, I don't think we've spent a day not talking ever since then.
Yeah, at this point in time.
Yeah.
Basically been, I mean, outside of a couple days where you're like, the family obviously takes precedent and so on, but like,
listen, even when we haven't played, I think we've at least talked,
said a couple things.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I'm nowhere near what you have, obviously, but I have 250 hours in Helldivers, and I'm pretty sure 248 of those have been with you.
I know we've been spending the majority of that time together. Yeah. I've got 440. So,
you fucking god.
I have so many other games I should be playing, and here I am on.
But man,
one solid game again, just about.
For the sake of the Discord, though, I just want to, and not that like the Discord was dying, but like I wasn't streaming, anymore because I was going through my stuff. and the gaming scene was just kind of bland. So there just wasn't a lot of conversation. So like Helldivers hit, and then there's a good group of people in the Discord like, oh, I'm very interested in that. So that was popping off in the Helldivers and grouping up. And then when you jumped in, you were so on board with, because I was already in place, setting up the Discord and the role and getting groups made and the voice channels and stuff. And you were so like, I will help organize as much as I can. And you're inviting all these people in, and I'm meeting new friends. Like, you were just so on board with the whole system out of the gate. And it was just, it's just been super fun, man. The Discord's been popping like a maniac, especially in the Helldivers channel. Just videos and screenshots and conversation and planning and random bullshit and all the cool people you've brought over. It's been an insanely fun time.
Yeah. I can't say anything more than that. Just, it's been, I think that gaming in general, not just like our little communities between yours and mine that I still kind of have on my own Discord, just in general, there's a lot of communities that needed something like Helldivers too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that there's been plenty of people that have talked about the impact that it's made on the gaming industry at this point. And unfortunately has also shown the dangers of big publishers again. However, for the game's sake itself, and just like how it's kind of brought communities together or made people feel that, there's a place for things in games like this still. Like, yeah, it can work. And if you've got people that are passionate about it behind it, it can work very well.
Yeah. And
we definitely needed something like this, I think, to reinvigorate a lot of people's feelings about, one, of course, the gaming industry as a whole, but also, two, just to say, you don't have to focus your energy on the same big franchises year over year over year.
Exactly. Or hyper focus on the monetization. Well, you had, like Baldur's Gate 3 was a huge release for the gaming community. Huge. I still remember the first time launching the game and being like, look, it says start game, load game, credits, and exit. There's no season pass in the corner and DLC, there's not a million pop-ups on the screen. Like, that's all you needed to do, which is huge for the gaming community. But to have a co-op PvE live service, multiplayer game come out, that's what we really needed it, because that's a genre of gaming that's been just littered with mediocrity for years.
Years and years. Yeah, CRPGs have been like incredibly underdeveloped in a lot of rights. And then action RPGs in general have been bloated to the point that they don't even really resemble the same thing they did when Diablo came out.
Yeah.
So apples and oranges between CRPGs and ARPGs, but the fact that there's at least some tie over between those, and that this has given people a little bit closer to like what they expected with like the original Dragon Age when that came out, and how Baldur's Gate has just kind of like recaptured a lot of people's investments into these worlds is important. And I think that's a big deal for everybody, because it's not just, I'm glad you brought up Baldur's Gate, because it isn't just Helldivers that has rekindled a lot of people's cares for the gaming industry. Baldur's Gate is another big one. You've got Armored Core 6.
Oh, yeah.
You still have the new stuff with Elden Ring and the DLC that's dropping soon. And granted, there's been such a big amount of community around Elden Ring for since its release.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
And that was another massive title for just gaming feeling like gaming again. Right. To put it as generically as I can.
Mm-hmm. Well, and for just about every game that I think I could pick off of this list, these are all titles that have that very simple start, options, exit kind of feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
the biggest thing that these large, if we look at Destiny and just the amount of stuff that they offer the moment you walk into the game, it is in a lot of cases just to the point that you just go into like shock paralysis of how many things get offered to you.
When you launch the game, you have to press enter 15 times to get through all the yeah.
At least.
New DLC, then I look at it, new expansion. Here's how the vault works. Here's an in-game thing. Here's another in-game thing. Oh, Saladin's back. Oh, and it's like, here's the TWAB. You're like, God, just let me get to the game.
Right. And then I look at a game like Deep Rock Galactic that has something of the same level of like a need to constantly release content to keep people invested in the game. You log in and it's just like, hey, go. Have fun.
Here you go.
We got some other stuff over here on the store if you want it. What does Helldivers do? You log in and you've got your different terminals that you can access. And sure, that big requisitions thing is right on the top, but it's so far out of the way and definitely not like a major piece of it that you're like, oh, I have to push this.
Oh yeah, you have to go out of your way to look at the store and all that stuff. Well, I love with Helldiver, you launch it, you have the title scene pops up, the intro cinematic, and then boom, you're on your ship, and you're just standing there ready to go. Like that's it. There's there's no pop-ups. There's no any of that stuff.
Nope. Well, and I have to say this with the other like major titles that I played over time here. After I fell off of Destiny, which I basically was gifted the Witch Queen. I got gifted the deluxe edition. I feel so bad because I quit after season 1 when that came out because Witch Queen felt good.
Yeah, Witch Queen was pretty solid.
Yeah, like it felt like it was getting closer to what I was hoping to see out of how they could handle the story, albeit in a more straightforward manner. And then it all fell apart in the next season. So everything that I thought was going to fix itself just didn't. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm never going to look at this again. I'm just moving away. And I even had dodged a bullet on this one. I even had pre-ordered Beyond Light. And I said, I'll probably be invested in this, at least just to play it and just see what happens now and again. Now I refunded it. I was like, I'm not going to bother with this at all anymore. I'm done. Quickly got into Warframe and never looked back. Ever.
That's cool. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people that make that jump over because it's a pretty simple swing over there, right?
Somewhat. It's a very different game because it's a obviously, of course, from the first person, the third person's perspective, there's that, but there's also the way that you mod, the way that you build your Warframes up, how you craft and get blueprints, and how they dish out those rewards, and so on. And the game is so, in my opinion, incredibly free to play friendly.
Yeah,
because it is a free to play game. It is a true.
Oh, you're good, buddy.
Free to play game,
and that's rare too.
Yeah, because Bungie will say that they are a free to play, free to start game. Sorry, and they'll give you some of the content that you're allowed to pick up and get into and go from there. And it's very obvious they do want you to pick up the other stuff for the new story and other investment, which to me at this point, if you're buying the new content for the story and you're just getting into it, I'll catch you in another 5,000 hours of you watching lore videos from somebody that hopefully isn't Bife. At this point, it's just incredible to me that they have cut off the majority of their story to the point that anybody out there is going to have that much of a hard time getting into it. Then I look at Warframe, which is 29 gig to install. And it includes all its story, all its backlogs, a codex, and continues to expand with different stuff to make the game more investing. Along with their different game modes they keep inventing all the time, or adding in different ways to play between Warframes, Necromechs, Railjack, all these different things that are absolutely more ambitious than just building off of a single here you point and shoot platform. And I do not see that kind of passion coming out of Destiny ever again. Never. And I think it's on 2 levels. The first is development. The second is direction. The third is their inability to work with that engine on a fast-paced system. Because looking at how Warframe builds their self from an engine that they own, operate, and have now redone and continue to redo and work with, that realistically has saved them, I think, in the long run. I don't think
stay in their own pocket.
Yeah, which helps a lot. The spaghetti code, I'm sure, is a nightmare.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Which, and all this is very exciting, right? And
right.
I really want to touch on what you're saying here. But the important question here is, what's the bife beef?
Oh.
I know that was 10 minutes ago, but I mean, I couldn't let that go.
Sorry.
Let's get into it now. Go ahead.
All right. Here we go. Bife's a great person.
He is.
I think that Bife has a very good head on his shoulders when it comes to being
it's pretty symmetrical.
Yeah, kind of follows in place with how things should go in life.
Yeah, that's a great. Hey, man, your face looks like something that is where everything falls in place like it should in life.
Yeah, you know, there's no asymmetry going on here.
I'm gonna try that next time.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah. Good morning, darling. Did you know your face just looks like life fell in place?
That's not passive aggressive at all.
No, not at all. Anywho,
no, I think that like usual, him and I could probably sit down and have a beer, no issues. But on a purely Destiny lore standpoint, cannot stand the guy. And let me make this very clear as to why.
We're listening.
He has embellished in ways that he shouldn't. He has made people believe in ways that he shouldn't.
Fuck.
And he is absolutely incapable of saying the words, I don't know.
Yeah, that last part? Yeah, I'll agree to that. 100%.
If he doesn't know, he feels like he needs to just like inject this over the top idea to make it so that it works and then call it canon. And he has been called out for that multiple times in the lore community back when I was active. Said that he was going to change it. Next week, he was back to his old standings and hasn't really fixed anything to my knowledge.
Because his standings give him the views.
Yes, I'm going to say there is that game that you have to play within anything and everything in YouTube. So I am going to say again, he knows how to play the game well. He knows how to stand where he needs to, but he's not somebody that I would take seriously for many of his takes at this degree. And that's really it. Like, no disrespect to the guy as
he's a lying
person.
sack of shit. I get it, dude.
Well, no disrespect to him as a person at all, because I think that he's a wonderful human being
with his life-looking face.
But as a Destiny content creator, he's full of shit.
Full of shit. What a loser. Get him out of here. Go report his channel right now, folks.
I mean, no, please.
Holy
don't do that.
shit. Get him demonetized immediately. Ruin his life.
Please no. Oh. Actually, what do I care? I'm not on Twitter anymore.
What do you care?
Who's going to cancel me?
Woo!
I am, as they say, uncancelable.
He's the artist formerly known as My Name is Bive.
Nah, he's... I don't know. Like I said, I think you can do better when it comes to getting your information in a rather unbiased sense.
I did shake his hand once, and it was a limp. He did the limp fish. So do with that as you will, listeners.
Yeah, had the same problem. I've been told I give better hugs, so I'll.
Oh my dude, can I? And I'm glad I know you give phenomenal hugs. It was, and I feel because I'm a very annoying friend to have. Okay, everyone. I was annoying my wife because I was like, that was such a good hug, babe. And that's like all, because I knew it, I just brought it up as much as I could with her the rest of the day. Because if I know it's going to bother her, I'm going to really lean into it. So
I mean, it sounds like a happy marriage to
me.
me.
It was great. So she'd hug me later. I was like, yeah, I mean, that was nice, but it wasn't a Beard Grizzly hug.
Oh, no. So wait, when you showed her my picture again, did she have flashbacks?
Oh, yeah. I was like, you remember him? She's like, what? And I showed her the picture, and she's like, you're never allowed to game with that man ever again.
Oh, Mrs. Fun, please don't murder me. In actuality, she's not overseas. She's actually over here trying to track me down.
She is. That's why I've been asking questions about Philly to locate where you are exactly.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Good thing it's
if you hear a door knock, it's definitely the ghosts.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And not definitely you becoming ghosts. A ghost.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm fine becoming a ghost if I still get to witness this world burning to ashes. What?
Yeah, valid, dude. Yeah, it may not take as long as you want.
Yeah.
Anyway, so was Anthem the game you were playing before Helldivers hit?
Anthem?
Or not Anthem, sorry. Why did I think of Anthem?
I don't know, because it was a game that absolutely had potential and got thrown into the dirt because BioWare is a single-player studio and EA wanted them to do something they couldn't.
The servers are still up for it. You can still play it.
Yes, and that's only because of contracts.
Yeah.
If they could get away with shutting that down, they would. Which I think is also the case with like Suicide Squad 2 right now.
Oh yeah.
That's another one that's pretty bad off. But yes, Warframe was the main game that I was over on for a while there before Helldivers came out, and then after Helldivers, it was basically just straight to Helldivers. Like I still can't get enough of playing the game, which is incredible. Like a title like this that has such simplicity.
Here, one second. You keep going. My dog is going crazy. My daughter's yelling.
Oh, no.
You keep going.
Okay. It's stupid and incredible to me that a game like Warframe, where it has all this overhead with customization, you have pets, you have companions that you take out with you. There's different styles of those with like the different species and animals that you take out. You have the robot sentinels, and then there's different models and modes for them. All the different weapons that Warframe has and how those fall in, modifiers and differences, so on. Like it can be a very complex game if you let the math take over everything. And Helldivers is just like, here's the option of a list of 4 things that you can take to vary your build-up with your primary, your secondary, your grenade, and then alter your armor how you want to. Like, going from that to going from Warframe to Helldivers 2 with its simplicity is just crazy. Which, ironically, is also leads to another game that captured my attention heavily that I don't think I've talked about too much with you or anybody else over in the server, but Remnant. The Remnant series is just fantastic. Remnant from the Ashes and then Remnant 2 just came out recently, and both of those games are just so worthwhile in playing. I'll just wait for you to get back. That's all I got for now.
Oh, I'm back.
You good?
Thanks, man. I just really didn't want to listen to whatever the fuck you were about to say, so I just made the dog thing up.
Yeah, that's probably fair, to be honest.
No, I guess she was barking like crazy. I go in the other room and she's like jumping up and down the floor, staring at my kids barking. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I take her upstairs to go to the bathroom, and she didn't want anything to do with that.
Huh.
And so I get back to them, I'm like, why was she barking at you? And they're like, they pointed their lap and one of the cats is laying out like cat. I was like, oh, well, goddamn.
Oh, that'll do it.
So yeah, it sounded bad.
It was.
And then it wasn't. So
yeah, it was. There's just the dog being the dog and the cat being the cat and the kids being the kids.
It was the cat that didn't want to play with the dog, that doesn't play with the dog.
Right.
And she hasn't figured it out yet.
Oh. Well,
anyway,
one day, hopefully she will. I mean, that's pets for you.
It's true. It's true.
I don't know if you caught anything of what I said there.
Part of it.
I was just talking about the going from the complexity of Warframe with all the stuff that's out there and then going to Helldivers. But then I have mentioned Remnant, and I don't think I've talked about that at all with you, the server, or anything else. But Remnant 1 and Remnant 2 are just fantastic games.
Yeah, I think I tried the first one. I don't remember why I didn't get into it. There was something funky. It might have been a bug. But I know there's a ton of people in the Discord that were playing those when they launched and really enjoying them. Because again, like we were talking about earlier, it's just like, here's gameplay, unlock things, enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no extras to worry about. They follow that. This is where I will get crucified by some gamers that are out there, like some gaming retro purists that.
Like the Roman gamers?
I guess you could say that. They need to probably just choke on the lead a little harder so I can get out of my face.
The Romans, they'll crucify you.
History joke on two sides there. So the big thing with Remnant is that it had a couple DLC packs that it came out with. And everybody says, well, then Remnant wasn't a completed game when it came out. No, you dummies. That's not quote-unquote on-disc DLC, that's actual DLC. That actually adds into the game and expands it further. So I don't know why you would end up proclaiming that the game wasn't finished. The game was finished in its best state for the main story. They are literally just adding to it. This isn't horse armor, you dummies.
Yes.
This is actually new content.
So many people held on to because sadly the in-disc DLC, that's hard to say. Like you mentioned, was such a big deal for so long that it just became such a, you heard DLC and that's what you assumed it was at that point. So like it sucks that that's what happened to that company. That like, a lot of people probably were like, oh, gross, and left because of that. Their loss, but. Mm-hmm. It's just, and like we were saying earlier, it's fun to be we're not out of, all the shit work of gaming industry, but, having some, a lot more refreshing games launching is like, okay, like there's hope that people will see that you can release a game like this and break all the fucking record books. Like,
right.
I don't know what you guys were looking to just monetize everything you could possibly do, but this is apparently working. Baldur's Gate sold a shit ton of stuff. People who would never play a game like that were like, well, I mean, I guess I'll try it because everyone's playing it.
Else out
and then
there.
They were obsessed. Yeah. Helldivers, the same thing, what is this? No PvP. That's unheard of these days,
Yep.
And just all these games that are just good. And then they're selling like crazy. It's like, well, look, you could do that the whole time. How fun is that, gaming industry?
And what's stupid is coming out at a price point too that's like affordable for most people as well, or generally more affordable. Like $70 is. We'll get into we could talk about the whole like how the cost of gaming has not really increased, but the cost of development has idea.
Yes,
there's some truth to it. There's a lot of falsity to it. And I could go back to the 90s with Super Nintendo games costing $80 a pop because of import tariffs more than anything else to say that there's only some truth to it. But if I look at Helldivers, where it's coming out at $40 in a game space right now where a Nintendo Switch game is apparently $70 worth, that says something to me.
Yeah.
a general scope of, and this is the thing that I will say to just about anybody that's looking to do any project personally, it's a general scope of saying you need to know what you can do, what you can accomplish, instead of looking at it from an investor standpoint and a big company standpoint and saying, we've got 500 people, why can't you make this happen?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we can't make it happen, can we stage it back to make something else work that could be just as cool? And there's just so many companies out there right now that are overbloated, overworthed, and effectively are trying to deliver the sun and the universe, and they deliver a speck of dust. Maybe.
You flew too close to the sun, Icarus.
Yes, very quite.
Yes, indeed, yes.
But that falls into like some of the other games that we've talked about tonight, though, too. Like Remnant 2 came out at $50 for the base game. You could get the whole deluxe edition with season pass and all for $70. So I've got all the future content and everything else for the price of one of these games that they are charging. And it's not a Ubisoft title, so I'm going to own it forever.
Yeah.
Instead of Ubisoft coming out with with Star Wars Outlaws and now Assassin's Creed Shadows for like $130 for their top end titling. It's incredible to me. Companies need to, gaming companies at least, and granted, I think this goes further than just gaming companies, but there's so many companies out there right now that need to look at themselves to realize either how overly bloated they've become in terms of what their ideas are, or what they're trying to present to the consumer.
Yeah.
And they need to actually ask themselves, what are we gaining out of it? And or what are we able to deliver that's going to be either A, fun, or B, what we can do realistically to also appease our investors. I'm not saying investing is a bad thing in some rights.
Yeah, because you need money to make the product at times.
Yeah. I mean, catch me on this whole market and whatnot and legal gambling, but anyway. But if I look at most of these indie titles that are coming out, or games that are coming from like smaller publishing firms, Devolver Digital is a fantastic example. Looking at something like Katana Zero or Shovel Knight was Yacht Game, so I wanted to say Devolver. It's not. You've got The Messenger. There was Cult of the Lamb that came out recently. And all. Then you've got other big darlings that came out of the indie space with Inscription not too long ago. Dredge and Dave the Diver pretty well back to back. Lunacid. That's been a very popular one over the course of time. Valheim, which granted is several years old now, but just got their next big huge update.
Yeah, free update. Once you buy the game, there's nothing really to buy. Do they even have a store?
No, well, they have their merch store, but they don't have like another store at all. Like supplementing your stuff with other merchandise, that's not uncommon. Like YouTubers do that all the freaking time at this point.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
It's just the commonality within the space.
Well, just something we brought out earlier is just the buy the game, play the game. You know, going back to Helldivers, you buy the game for $40. Yeah. Yes, there's a store. Yes, you can buy the super credits. Yes, there's all these war bonds that cost super credits that add other stuff to it. But as we've, the main majority of us that have played the game understand, is you can get super credits from playing the game. So in each mission, there's bunkers you can open. There's all these, the little hatches you can open and crates you can search. And there's chances to have super credits in these missions, to the point where we've been playing, right? And I have unlocked every war bond and have everything but one piece of armor from the store without spending a single dime on super credits, which I think I need to at some point just to like give more money to Arrowhead because I'm just blown away by the game. But the fact they've designed this where you can, like we were saying earlier, there's the intro cinematic and then you're in your ship and you're on the planet and then you're fighting. And on top of that, everything you unlock there's nothing in there that's broken that you have to use. They've done a really good job of making sure everything is on such a level with each other that you can use basically anything that exists in the game and have fun with it and be a helpful member of the team. It's just, it's just one of those, everything is put in place correctly, minus, the Sony fiasco we had a couple weeks ago, but that's not the game's fault.
I say that's not Arrowhead's fault. That's not in any way. I think the developers, or anything else. It's literally just Sony's
fault. Well, and then on top, and I'm glad you brought up mentioning Arrowhead as the developers. And then on top of all that, you have an incredible developer team that's hands on with the community, in with the jokes, having fun with everyone. To the point where the when things are broken, the CEO was telling people, "Hey, don't buy the game until it's fixed. Like, I want you to enjoy it. We do want money, but I also want you to enjoy the game. So don't buy it right now." And then to the point when, some enemies were getting secretly put into the game and people were posting about it, the CEO would be like, no, fake news. Never heard of that. Can't be. Like, just the fact that he's so on board with being, a cool CEO, part of the company, and then just leaning into the facts of what the lore of the game is as a person is just fun.
Well, and it really helps that he was the main lead dev, I guess, on Helldivers 1. So, like, he's interconnected in the project.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's, I think, what's really going to help Helldivers 2 out in the long run. It's just having him in that space and being able to kind of... there's a lot of arguments about, like, the balance right now with the game, and I can totally understand some of it. I can't understand all of it, and I think that some people need to, like, just try something different, which I know is really hard for people to hear sometimes, but here we are. However, I think that it's good that it's being brought up now instead of later down the line. But it has been just one thing after another for them, and I cannot imagine how stressed out those guys, the less than or so 100 devs worth of Arrowhead, are stressed beyond belief.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to transition themselves into something that is now the biggest or one of the biggest properties in the world. Like 12 million copies sold is one
insane.
Of the it's the fastest growing PlayStation title ever.
Yeah. What's this? Helldivers 1, I think, and I'll fact check this, but not right now. Someone else can fact check it. But Helldivers 1, I think, peaked at like 5,000 players. Like
10,150 in Steam stuff. I had looked at it because I was really curious just to see like where it was.
So but that's where that team came
10K.
From. Yeah. At peak 10K.
And the typical 24-hour peak was maybe at like 6,000, just to at least give the two numbers.
So that's where this company comes from of 100 people. They get bought by Sony, obviously given a little more money to make the second game, Mm-hmm. And, I think their goal was like, if we can hit 50,000 people, like, I will be fucking blown away. And what was the peak ever? Was it 450?
So before the AFK punch out was implemented on Steam, it was 448,000 people.
And that's just on Steam.
Yes.
So that is such a giant difference between what they were like, yeah, if we can hit this goal, I'll feel really happy, to being, 500,000 concurrent players at one time, 12 million copies sold. It's just like, what? And like you said, I can't imagine having that many eyes on you to do the right thing any moment.
And you're getting scrutinized for every little thing you do. And
because the gaming community sucks.
Yeah. Well, and you've got this big publisher that's over your head that's in a lot of essence has screwed up more than they've done anything else.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful that Sony has given us Helldivers 2. I just wish they would fuck off and allow for them to do what they need to as a studio.
Yep.
Instead of having any extra hands into it. And it should be the lesson that every other big studio then learns from this project. Because if you put the love into it and allow the team to do what they need to within reason, within budgetary constraints, within knowing what it is that they're going to be able to do, and maybe they have to cut a couple of corners that they can iron out later, maybe after sales are done, cool. That's fine. I get it. But you leave the development team who likes the title, who knows the title, and wants to do something with the passion. You leave them do what they need to, and you stay far off the plane so that you can earn your money and take it back to your investors and say, wow, this is working. I wonder what's different. Maybe it's because you're over there and the dev teams are over here doing what they know while you're doing what you know.
Yeah, it's almost like I think they'd be more interested in how much money is being made than how many PSN accounts exist. Weird, huh?
You would really think at that point, but here we are.
Weird.
And that isn't just like an Arrowhead and Sony thing either. That's everything right now.
Destiny's gone through that with every Overlord. I mean, any game you can think of that you've played has that problem. You know, Call of Duty's had that problem. Fucking World of Warcraft has had that problem even. With the whole, Activision and all, like any game you can think of that exists has that problem at some point in its life.
Well, now you've got Chris Metzen coming back for WoW, and
it's so good.
That could like legitimately revitalize that title. And it's been years since that has happened.
Baby, it's revitalized. God damn, is it good right now?
Yeah. Warframe actually has a very similar story.
Oh, really?
But it has one with a very good ending.
I would like to hear this tale. Warframe is a game you'd think I would have played a ton of, but I've never tried it. It's weird. It's always been around me. I think everyone has that game where you're like, well, it's obvious I would love this, but I've just never touched it.
Yeah. Well, I knew I would get into Warframe if I was able to play it. That was kind of the whole joke, was that I love Warframe so much, and I know I probably would have liked it almost from day one, but I couldn't play it. There was something with the encoding that they had with DirectX 11 that triggered my migraines. As soon as they flipped to DX12, no problems. None at all. So something, again, kind of like what happened with me on the PS4. I can't play the PS4 anymore because of something with the encoding they run off of it. I've tried it on different monitors, televisions. I've tried a PS4 Pro and a standard. Can't do it. So I've never tried bothering with a PS5. But there is something that triggers in the way the encoding runs that I just couldn't bother playing with. Not the story, by the way.
Fun side tangent nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm going to say it at least I think says how the game is developing and how the engine has been handled, because it's all their pet project, which actually is all comes back to the same person. If those out there are not familiar with Warframe and the studio behind it, the studio behind it is Digital Extremes.
Such a good name.
If you have heard of them before and it rings a bell, it should, because they were the guys that made Unreal Tournament. They have been in bed with now Epic Games and everything like that for a long time. So much so that they had a weapons pack that they transferred over into Warframe and was originally just on the Epic Store exclusively. Free download, by the way, which was super, super cool. But the biggest thing with Digital Extremes is that they had their run with Unreal Tournament, and then they shifted, mostly because of the way that Epic was starting to do some of their stuff with like Unreal Engine and everything else. They then became a consulting company, and they also ended up doing BioShock 2. And then they ended up coming out with this one game that a lot of people know them for, called Dark Sector.
Oh, yeah.
But do you know that Dark Sector, well, the Muffin Man, yes, you can push his belly any day if you can catch him. Did you know that Dark Sector originally was what Warframe was going to be?
No.
Yes. remind me later, because I can link you the trailer for the original concept for Dark Sector.
Well, I'm just looking at, I mean, I just Google search Dark Sector and like, yeah, the the armor you're wearing. Yeah. I can see it.
I'll go say
immediately. Immediately, I see it now that you've said it.
Well, not just that. So they changed Dark Sector entirely. It's not the same concept as what they had previously. What they're hinting at right now, though, in Warframe is that they're going to have a bit of a resurgence with some stuff from Dark Sector. So I'm interested to see what they're going to play with on that angle. They've been kind of interlinked for a while now, but you never really knew why or how or anything like this. But the original conceptual video for Dark Sector had you as an Excalibur frame inside of a Grineer vessel, and you were fighting Grineer Marines.
That's insane.
The whole thing changed. So what we should have gotten was Warframe on the Xbox 360. We didn't, because they were told that it wasn't going to sell.
And here we are.
They did their own private publishing. They went single publisher. So I think it was Activision that they were working with for publishing Dark Sector. And very, very popular, very good game. A lot of people that were able to connect with it and so on. And it got very heavy praise for a good reason. To my knowledge, Digital Extremes owns the rights, though, to Dark Sector. So they can still utilize the property if they want to. And that kind of excites me for the Warframe stuff, though. But going further than that, Digital Extremes has always been headed, at least on like lead development and whatnot, by Steve. Steve has been the lead coder, developer, artist, and so on for almost every game from the Unreal Tournament age into Warframe. All of the redesigns for the engine were him pulling all-nighters for Warframe's engine to basically recode the whole thing, which they are also reworking into their new title called Soulframe, which comes out later on here. We don't know when. So they're using the same engine from Warframe with some caveats and changes on their next game as well, which to me says that engine is a beast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The way that they can shift it and move it is awesome sounding. And some of the stuff that they've implemented even from Soulframe's development already over to Warframe, like the lighting and how they've altered that, it's noticeable. So you've got two teams working on the same engine.
I'm sorry to stop you because I had not heard anything about the Soulframe thing, and I'm looking at it now. Yeah. Is that going to be an MMO also, or is that a single player experience?
It's a mix. It's like Warframe. It's going to be a solo or multiplayer experience.
I'm going to play the fuck out of Soulframe.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of people that wished they got into Warframe, that Soulframe will kind of fit their bill.
This is absolutely fitting my bill.
Yeah. And it's a fantasy game, not sci-fi.
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm hooked.
And to quick go into some of the synopsis for that too. The thing that let me actually stay on topic with Warframe for a second.
sorry.
You're good. You're good. I'm debating on how to tell the story. It's not that it's not that you're off in any way. So Steve, heading the company as long as he has obviously been burnt out with like development on Warframe, even though it's his child.
Yeah,
like it's as good as his kid.
Absolutely. But it's been going for a hot minute.
Right. It's over 10 years old now.
Yeah.
It's going on its 11th year. So for a game like this to be in development this long and for it handling this way is incredible to me.
Absolutely.
And for it to last this long too is also just stupendous. and for it to only get bigger as time goes by, I think says a lot too for how the project has been handled. But as far as that handling goes, don't mean your ass, Fudd. Don't say it.
I wasn't even thinking. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah, I know it's a lie. I know you well enough. So Steve, Jeff, and Sheldon, which I know I haven't talked about Jeff or Sheldon. Sheldon is basically more like the marketing and research guy. And he does some stuff with development, but that's primarily like where he was. Jeff is the artist and is now the director for Soulframe. But he used to be the head artist on Warframe. Well, those three split off, and they went to go do Soulframe. In the interim, however, Steve ended up getting a big promotion to CEO of Digital Extremes because the original CEO for the company left. So now Jeff is kind of the head director. And it does kind of make me a little iffy about where things are going to be for Soulframe. I'm not going to lie, because stuff I've heard about Jeff has kind of made me But I'm hoping that this new project for him does what it seems like it's doing for the rest of the company. Because most of the stuff I've seen from Steve prior, he seemed like he was really low. It seemed like he was downtrodden. Like it just seemed like the creative juices were just punched out of him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now if you see him on camera though, he's vitalized. He's happy. He just seems like a all around better mental health.
Yeah, it's amazing what a new project will do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially one that like ties into like what you're trying to get across. Because Warframe's whole shtick at this point has shifted from being this narrative of you are a space ninja and you're just trying to find balance and order within our home solar system. It's outcropped to this whole thing of finding yourself, finding who you are, finding what goes into who you are, and effectively finding like how your emotions play into everything. And they do it in such an intelligent way. And I don't say that much because most of these topics just feel like they're semi-childish and whatnot. No, they're handled very well with Warframe. They do a very good job of handling this stuff. Of like sacrifice and death and life and rebirth and all of this. They do these crazy out there things that I never would have thought of. But the last 4 years or so of Warframe has not been done by Steve, even though he was still the head developer for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Rebecca has been. Rebecca Ford, if none of you have followed Warframe prior, was the community manager, the head community manager for Warframe. She's now the director. Like, let that set in for just a second. You go from, she has brought and she does code, she does, she's played the game prior, she has her own account and everything, so like, this is nothing that's like out there for her.
Oh, absolutely.
But the fact that she's gone from community manager to now director should say something. She has a passion for Warframe that has not been felt since probably year 4 of the game. So for this revitalization to happen,
that's got to be insanely exciting. Something. Yeah.
Yes. And it hasn't stopped because her co-conspirator, if you will, Megan, got promoted to community manager. So it's basically Meg and Rebecca running the show with a bunch of other elites and oldies and new interns that they keep getting. They're paid, by the way, which is wonderful and great of them as a studio. Thank you. Yes.
Absolutely.
And they're making Warframe into something more than Steve ever thought it would be. And every reveal, he's just like, can I come work on this? This looks amazing.
Oh, I love that.
So yes, this whole story, I know, has been a roundabout way to end up saying and tying all this together, but like Digital Extremes itself is, I think, another amazing case to look at a studio and how it handles itself, and how sometimes you just have to be the bigger person in general.
Yeah.
And just put the reins down and hand them over to somebody else and say, you are more passionate about this. We need you to take this over.
The game needs to come first.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't hand it to just anybody, because we've seen that enough with Bungie, quite bluntly.
Mm-hmm.
The way that the story, the lore, and everything else has been handled makes me want to puke so badly.
Have you puked?
Because once or twice, actually.
Oh.
It is to the degree that they don't know which way they want to go. And the problem is that I saw back even in like, God, I guess Forsaken at that point, I knew which direction they were going to go. And I've called it every step of the way. I haven't known the details, but I knew what they were going to do. And suddenly, the story that we have is extraordinarily similar to one that happened 10 years ago. All they've done is fallen back on their old roots, and it's a clear sign to me, again, of why you keep people in place that are passionate about the projects that they come up with, because otherwise they're going to be a husk of what they could be.
Exactly.
And I think that is if I leave any of you with any message, it's that the thoughts and feelings and passions that you hold are your own. And though they may be shared to others, they do not always hold the same weight.
Wow. I really like that. Beard, you may be wise.
Huh?
You might be wise, dude.
I don't think I'm wise. I just think I've seen too much shit, and I'm a cynical enough person to say that I'm tired of certain people being at the heads of things when they quite frankly shouldn't be, and they need to start opening up their eyes and step away to let the other people do what they need to.
Where does wisdom come from, if not an excess of life experience?
Yeah, I know.
So, stick that in your fucking sandwich and eat it.
All right, fine. I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah. How long have we been talking?
An hour and 26 minutes, baby.
That's what I thought, and it doesn't even feel like it's been that long.
I know, I love it.
Do
you want to get into some community questions, man?
Yeah,
spice it up a little direction.
I've honestly just been yapping my flap here the whole time. So
that's the whole point to get on in here, so everyone in the Discord can get to know each other, man. I'm glad you yapped the whole time.
More so the Discord can hate me more, right?
Well, that may happen. We'll have to watch the feedback and see how people are feeling,
I guess so.
I'm sure Bife will have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely in my...
No. Hey, Russ, I just want to say your Valheim designs make me want to puke just about as much as the Destiny lore does anymore.
Damn.
Ha. Also, Russ, I love you as a person, and I wish we could play games more often.
I agree. He's a beautiful human being who also gives great hugs.
Yes. Not that I know personally. However, I will take your word for it.
Someday. I'll make sure.
Okay.
Okay, so we didn't get a lot of questions. Well, we got a lot of questions from a couple people. And then a lot of people that were like, oh, I could definitely have fun with this, and then never actually had fun with it. So that's
you know what they say, their loss.
It's true. First question coming in from Spider87. What is your favorite dinosaur, and what do you think they sound like? Best impressions only.
Favorite dinosaur is probably the Allosaur.
Ooh.
Because it's that middle ground between like T-Rex and Velociraptor and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like it feels like the medium armor, if you will, of the dinosaur universe.
The medium armor, yes. Just good base stats all around.
Exactly. It's like a Helldiver's metaphor. Get it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
What do they sound like?
Uh, do you want the Hollywood version or do you want the actual sounding thing?
I think we need both.
Okay, well, if you want to go by Hollywood standards, it's probably something more like the Jurassic Park T-Rex, but it would be a little bit more high-pitched, so they probably noise-gated hardcore.
Noise-gated hardcore, yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
But I think I'm going to edit in the actual Hollywood sound there, and people will be like, holy fuck, he's really good at that.
That'll be perfect. Don't tell him at all.
I'm not going to do that. I'm lazy.
Nice. The other thing, though, is the further that we get along with like research and everything on dinosaurs, and we find that they weren't lizards, but were more birds, which I think is fascinating.
Yes.
You're probably getting into something more that's going to sound like a. Do you know what a shoebill stork sounds like? I don't know if you ever. Yeah, they would probably be like a deeper to higher pitched areas of where like shoebill storks would fit, which is unfortunately near impossible for my voice to replicate. But they do a lot of low guttural popping, and they have a very different way of doing calls. But compared to like the rest of the bird world, they're actually extraordinarily deep throat, if you will. You do not have that in a lot of other calls out of birds. The only other ones that would be like close to it would be like Siberian turkeys, and how I forget what their actual names are. But there's some of those turkeys in Russia are crazy. Wait, not cassowaries. Shoot.
I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm fucking insane.
They're nuts, and in mating season, they're even nuttier. In the wild, if you're like on
season? Yes,
yes, the males will literally come up to bikes all the time and think that they're like trying to take over their territory, so they just run up to things and just like try to spook them off and like growl at them the whole time. They're crazy birds. So yeah, that's what I got on that. I gave you some extras outside of
I appreciate
actual impression of like what I would figure an allosaur would probably sound like, but it's close.
My favorite is the Mosasaurus. And it probably sounds like this. Let my people go.
As you also part Pangea, right?
Part Pangea. Yep, exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
You're welcome.
I couldn't let that joke go. It was just, it was right there, dude.
That's an easy one, man.
It was right
I can't say no to that one.
Thanks. Moving on. Few questions coming in from Cheesy. Do grizzlies have beards, or does the beard make you grizzly?
Well, this is a semi-weird one to answer.
Okay.
So certain Kodiak bears are technically where grizzly bears fit into. They're a type of Kodiak bear. Black bears then have their own designation. Brown bears do as well, but brown and black bears are actually much closer in designation than what they would be to like a grizzly or a Kodiak. Kodiaks are much bigger than grizzlies, or have the potential to be, and then polar bears still can be larger than that. My point to this, though, is that there are certain designations of bears that do seem like they have beard growth. They actually do have like off the chin little bits that they do have. But the problem is that it's not universal. So it's unsure right now if it's just a mutation of some kind, like that's just what happens with the genetics, or if it's something that was a common trait before and it's just died off. And then like kind of a weird connection, but it also depends on where you look. There's some that have the chin hairs. There's also ones that have like more the neck beard, if you will. And if you look at something like a raven would kind of have a neck beard, if you will, because the way that they puff out their throat sacs will actually have their feathers pop out. And it almost looks like they've got a beard going on. So I still say that's one of the reasons that Vikings loved ravens as much as they did.
All right. I think we've all grown together as a community here.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and breathe, man. That's yeah. You sound exhausted after that.
No, it's
Was
not
that
too
off the
bad,
top of your head?
Yeah.
That's insanely impressive.
I mean,
impressive is the correct word before you try to cut me off and self-deprecate.
What self-deprecation is all I'm good for.
Well, yeah, that's true. All right, I'll let you stay in your lane. I'll let you do it. Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
No, I'll pass this time. I'll give you that one.
Cheesy then says, once upon a time I saw a grizzly in the wild. JK, that's a lie, but they're scary as fuck. Anyway, next question. How many times...
So would
ahead.
you like to meet a man or a bear in the woods? Is that what we're asking right now?
Are we going with that?
No, I really don't want to go with that.
Yeah,
and I will say that anybody that wants to meet the grizzly in the woods is a fucking moron.
Well, I don't have time to explain to you the whole premise of that, but...
I mean, I understand the premise of it, but I will still say that anybody that wants to see the grizzly in the woods is crazy.
Well, anyway...
How
many times a minute do you liberate? What's your LPM, liberated per minute?
Liberation per minute is, somewhere around 0.000000001 per minute.
I'm helping. Yeah.
I am definitely helping.
That's true. This could take a minute, but we'll see where this takes us. What was your path to gaming? Where did you start? How did you get to where you are now? And what was your favorite gaming era?
Where did I start? Actually, it was that. I still have it under the bed, actually. It's Texas Instruments Atari 2600.
Hell yes.
Battlezone was my first game that I played out of there. And quickly found I didn't like it. However, started up on stuff like Pac-Man and a couple others that, even just Pong, I just found like I liked those games a bit more. And then my grandparents got me an NES, and that quickly changed the whole game for me. Turtles 2 and 3 are spectacular games.
Yes.
I love arcade beat 'em ups. I still do to this day. Still waiting for River City Ransom, and River City Ransom Girls is a pretty good one. Fight and Rage is one that I've liked quite a bit too. There's several good indie beat 'em ups that are out there though, and they're just great games for me to go back and kind of relive some of those memories. Still didn't get the what is it, the Cowabunga collection or whatever that they came out with. Shredder's Revenge, I think.
It's a Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah, a little bit. It's all right. I just don't want to give Konami any more of my money for obvious reasons. Fuck Konami. But for there was that. There was RPGs. Final Fantasy quickly turned into one of my favorite role-playing games of all time. I still say that Final Fantasy III, aka Final Fantasy VI, is still one of the best role-playing games that have ever been created. Chrono Trigger will be up there as well.
Oh, I love Chrono Trigger.
Square Enix is a shell of its former self, where Square Soft and Enix made fantastic games on their own. Because I quickly evolved into like playing some of the other games that were out there. PlayStation 1 was basically just a role-playing game haven. Mm-hmm. So many RPGs that existed out of there. And Final Fantasy was just like the tip of the iceberg. But Final Fantasy Tactics showed me that I was very, very interested in that genre. And not just getting into like RTS and everything, but like management, troops and build up, being able to level and figure out like certain characteristics and traits, customization and building. And it was that's basically all that Dungeons and Dragons and CRPGs were. So once I was able to get into PC gaming in the late 90s, things definitely changed up for me a lot from there. But it's ironic because I'd never really got into things like Neverwinter or the original Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah.
I ended up just sticking largely to like shooters like Doom and so on, which I had gotten very good at the original Doom back when I was younger, and I can't do that again. I have lost those reflexes for whatever reason. Guess it's because I'm getting old. I don't know, guys.
No, not at all. It's just because you suck.
Yeah, probably. I mean, definitely, more likely. Anyway.
No, yeah,
but
it sucks to feel it disappear, man.
Ugh. I think that's it's one of the biggest things I regret. As granted, I have this stupid cyst in my right hand that formed, and it's not bad that I need to get any kind of surgery on it, but that once in a while just makes my hand cramp up, and God, I hate getting older.
You'll get a chuckle out of this, actually. I heard last year, and it's just, then I looked at my friends and went, "Yep, this checks out." So you know how Florida is the place where everyone goes to retire, right?
Right.
So there's a guy on the internet that was like, Destiny is the Florida of the gaming industry. It's like, that's where everyone who used to be really good at shooters retires to, is Destiny.
Considering...
like, yeah, that makes sense.
Considering how slow going some of those shooting mechanics can go, it's true. Something I will say, though, is that I've actually gotten like some of those reflex feelings back playing Warframe, because it requires you to be a little faster. And I think it doesn't like force you into doing so. So I think like the eased change and everything has just made it so that I've gotten some of them back, or I've just adjusted how my body has kind of changed over the course of the years. It's great. It's been a good feeling to kind of swing some of those extra abilities that I've kind of gotten back and put them into other co-op games like Helldivers, because I can still definitely tell you, even though it's not the same thing, taking most of that like aim training from Warframe over to Helldivers, it helps.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
anywho,
I think I kind of got off track with the question, but that at least gives you...
Yeah,
I think so. But that gives you a little bit more of like a bigger general idea of like what kind of games I've been into over the years.
Yeah, dude, what a great path.
But between the only games I don't think I ever really got into were like sim creation games, which is ironic in some regards because I love Satisfactory and I love Valheim. But I just don't like the top-down ones. So like Factorio.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sim Cities and some of those. I can't get into those, which I also can't get into RTS games for that same reason.
Oh, that's
interesting. But I love just about anything with third-person aspects to it.
Yeah.
I love it with like base creation and other management cycles. These are all stuff that you would think I would get into for these top-downers. Can't do it.
Yeah, I love RTSs, but like the Sim Cities and stuff like that, I hate those kind of games.
Well, and another one I was told to try was Stellaris, because that's also very different in those regards. Tried it. I can't get into it. I don't know if it's just because of the high meta that exists within Stellaris or can exist in Stellaris, but it's just something else that I just can't find myself playing.
Yeah, so, well, and you also can't get into it because it's, in a fucking screen. So,
well,
you can't crawl in. You know what I mean?
Can I one of these days just exist in the Helldivers 2 universe? Can we do that?
I don't know if I want that.
Are you sure? Because like I want to be that one diver that could.
Oh, the one diver that I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. I know I can.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down.
Anyway.
I will gladly stand side by side with you IRL against
Nice.
the horde of communist bots and fascist bugs.
We'll be the two Helldivers that raise the average time.
Exactly.
On, how many of us can survive anyway?
Hurdle 3K asks, if you were a professional wrestler, what would be your entrance theme and your finishing maneuver, which needs a sweet name? Because let's be honest, Grizzly is already a sweet wrestler persona. But if you're a professional wrestler, what would be your entrance theme and your finishing maneuver?
I don't know about entrance theme, man. That's a tall order.
Yeah.
Because like, all right, first big thing. Never really got into wrestling as I was like a kid or anything. So I am out of the loop to some respects with that stuff. Obviously I at least looked into a little bit as I got older because I was like, what was the whole deal with this? I totally get it. And it was great storytelling back in the day for like what it was.
Oh yeah.
It was fantastic. So I fault no one for it and for absolutely liking it because it was great. Feels like a shell of its former self though with some of the stuff I'm seeing today. Anyway, for an entrance theme though. See, I tried to give myself more time. It didn't work.
No, I could tell what you were doing. I'm like, this isn't going to work.
No, it really didn't work. It might be. I'll at least say like a band, maybe. I also don't want to be like typical.
Do you want me to just go first? What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
That help? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Intro music, believe it or not, by Joey Scarberry. Okay. Fireworks, flames. I want giant axes swinging out of the sky while I'm skipping in listening to Believe It or Not, I'm Walking on Air, because that will strike fear into the heart of my enemies. Okay?
Especially if you like walk out menacingly.
Yeah, with that going on, fuck yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And my finishing maneuver would probably be, I think I like a swing one leg between theirs, grab them by the face, and just like we both slam down backwards. And I think I would call it the leg sweep face smash. What do you think of that? It rolls off the tongue pretty easily.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to go a little bit more ass to mouth with that one, but I understand.
That's also a great name for my finishing move, is ass to mouth. I'm going to go with it. Yeah, it's going to be the ass to mouth. Believe it or not, I'm ass to mouth. There we go. Nailed it.
What's your name?
My name would probably be the Fudster. Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
See, this is you were a lot easier coming up with stuff than I am for myself. Because, all right, I'll go a little out of order.
Okay.
So you already said the Grizzly, so I'll try something else. We'll just go with the grizzled beard. How's that?
I like that.
Yeah. I think so. It'll give me a reason to grow the beard even more than I already have.
Oh, baby.
The finishing move would be entitled the Grizzly Bomb.
Ooh.
In which case I would basically make sure that the person is like, down on the mat pretty hard. They're already kind of like down for the count, and I'm just gonna cannonball them right in the gut.
Damn. Cannonball.
Just ball myself up and just go. And then it's real simple for me to just unfold and put them in a pin, and it's over.
I like that a
and
lot,
they're probably coughing up blood because they're just
that's a lot.
Slammed
a cannonball to the that's intense
to the gut. That's a lot of force. Yes.
What song's playing during all this?
Well, I still don't know.
Okay.
That's the hardest part for me, because like most of the ones that I know of that I would have taken are like already taken.
What about like "Love in an Elevator" by Aerosmith?
No, that's not my kind of theme anyway.
Okay.
We know that I am too serious for my own good.
Okay. How about "The Trees" by Rush?
That might work.
Okay.
Actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's go with that one.
There's trouble in the forest. Okay. All right. The trees.
And the Lorax, I speak for the trees, and the trees are speaking Vietnamese.
What is your guilty pleasure movie or TV show? AK, what's something you love that the world universally frowns upon or finds annoying?
Guilty pleasure movie or TV show?
I've got one if you need me to go.
Yeah, go ahead, because I've got like 2 bookshelves full of movies, and I don't know necessarily what people would consider a guilty pleasure.
So me as a grown adult, okay? And this because random lore has popped out of my mouth based on this, and I use it as a backboard for comedy a lot, okay? But I fucking love Sophia the First.
No.
Yes.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah. It is such a good show. I remember when my daughter first got into it, I was like, this is stupid. And then the more I watched, the more I was like, this is actually really good. And like, I really enjoy this. And I'm like, my daughter left 8 episodes ago. I have a problem. The show legitimately turned like I might get crucified for something like this, but like the semi-newer My Little Pony stuff turned from like a show for like the little girls all of a sudden to the show for the 30-year-olds. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, Sophia the First. Fucking love that show. When it was the last episode ever they're gonna make, I was emotional.
Yeah, but understandably.
So, yeah, that's mine.
It's a tough one for me. Because I consume, frankly, too much media. And for me, there's like not a lot of stuff that I can say is like extreme guilty pleasure levels. I would probably say that it would have to be something with like with horror more than likely, because horror just gets into the schlock so much.
Oh, the schlock. Well done.
The one movie that's coming back to me though that I think would be labeled as like pretty gratuitous in terms of its like value would be Grave Encounters.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of that one or seen it.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Okay, so it is the most over-the-top Zach Baggins-esque Ghost Adventures shit you will see put into a movie form. And I love it. Except for, it turns out it's real.
Fuck.
Yeah. And that's what gets me about it, because it legitimately has some like good scares to it, and the story is not bad at all, but it is still a schlocky movie from like start to finish, or meant to be. And it just gets into the weeds on some stuff. There is a second movie follow-up to it that is actual schlock, and I hate the film up until the last like 30 minutes. The last 30 minutes is what made the first movie amazing. So I will say, if you want to see a decent set of horror films over the course of Halloween or anything like that, which I know is still like 6 months or 5 months off, or whenever. If you've never heard of Grave Encounters, look it up. I think it is probably one of the better horror movies out there.
Okay. I'm never going to look it up because I don't do horror movies because I'm a little bitch boy. But
well,
I'm going to say for the sake of the conversation, absolutely, I'm going to look that up. I'm very excited to witness this.
I think you should still look it up.
Okay.
And maybe we can do a watch party because then I'll be right with you. Okay?
Okay.
So no horror for Fuddy. Got to remember that. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. I just noticed he has a follow-up on the bottom there. It says same with a band or song. If we want to answer that
band
one.
or song. That's right.
You got one off the top of your head for that?
Not off the top of my head. I mean,
okay.
I listen to. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I listen to so much music. It's tough.
I love it. Well, as a massive metalhead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking power metal, heavy metal, scream metal, 80s metal, hair metal, whatever you want. I'm all about it, you know. I also listen to a lot of stuff, but like metal is my jam. All right. I am a massive Dua Lipa fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that though.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple songs came out that my daughter was like, "Hey, I like these are good songs." I was like, "Oh yeah, these are really fucking catchy. Yeah, I like this." Then the more I started listening, the more I was like, "I really like her fucking music." And so yeah, I'm a massive Dua Lipa fan. There you go.
I gotta say, I tend to fall into the same thing. But I also have a very big musical background to me because I did.
Bless your face.
I did a lot with choir out of high school, middle school, and after. I also played an instrument. I don't think I ever even mentioned stuff like that. I haven't been able to play anymore because of the damage that happened to my lung, and I haven't been able to get that back. But I used to play the saxophone.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
The biggest thing, though, that kind of merged everything for me was hearing some of these rock opera groups. And one that I was introduced to in my last year in high school was called Spock's Beard. I don't know if...
Beard.
Spock's Beard. I was legitimately, like, stunned for a second, because I was like, Spock only had a beard for one episode, and it was the alternate reality mirror episode. And then I stopped myself.
That's how you
and
know
said,
it's going to be good.
Yeah, well, and I stopped myself and said, "Wow, I'm a gigantic nerd," because I knew that off the top of my head when I was in high school. Anyway, but it's this, it's this like really fairly impactful. Let me see. I know I've got it somewhere. It's yeah, there we go. It's this really impactful rock opera though that I was introduced to. 2 discs long, by the way. That goes into this kid that's on this like miracle monk, Shaolin monk like journey, and he's performing miracles and everything. And he's getting like welcomed in by society and then eventually gets kicked out of society. Dude, it touches on so many things. And I'm just like, this is above and beyond what I expected it was going to be. And the whole reason I got introduced to it as like in high school was because we were going to do one tune to it to marching band. And that was it. And I started listening to the entire album. And a couple others outside of that, and I was like, "This is great for like my age and everything." It was like a really eye-opening or semi-eye-opening experience, just like listening to this mesh of rock and musical in a way, just like combining together and how it was handled was great. That also led to like I don't know if you've heard of the Proto-Men.
No, I'm looking them up too now. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be obsessed with these people too.
Yeah, I'm going to say
that one I
like,
actually mean. The Proto-Men.
The Proto-Men? Yes. They have 2 kind of 3 albums at this point.
It says I've listened to one of their songs before.
Oh dear.
What the
have you?
I have. Let me see which one. In the Air Tonight. I've listened to that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
What do you know? I did like these guys. I've listened to this.
The whole thing though, for the Proto-Men, for their 2 albums, as the name implies, is that they are a rock opera group covering a possible like side story, darker type story for Mega Man.
That's so badass.
It's wonderful.
That would explain why I really liked the song.
Yeah. And there's a couple others in there that you're just going to be screaming to. I know it.
I'm ready. My body's ready.
But if you listen to those albums from start to finish, they are fantastic. So are they guilty pleasures? I don't think so. Are they accepted by society? No, but fuck society.
Hey, man. Hell yeah. Changing my name to Society. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I can't believe I knew one of those groups. But yeah, I've got Spock's beard pulled up. I'm ready. Anyone who legitly names their band after something so just such a tiny reference like that, fucking yeah, you know they're going to be good.
Well, okay, speaking of tiny references, I don't know why this popped up in my freaking head.
Didn't realize we were talking about my dick tonight.
I'm talking about something a little bit more than 1 inch. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Helldivers 2. The first pass they had with Cutting Edge, they had that cloak called Martyrius Rex.
Oh yeah.
Did I tell you this story or not?
No.
There's a book series out there called Galaxy's Edge. And it's an incredibly good book series. I need to sit down and read more of it because I'm like partway through finally on book 1. And after a buddy has been trying to get me to read it for years, I'm like, all right, I've had this book sitting here for how long? Why have I not opened it at all? Very good, very like Dead Space meets Mass Effect without the like overarching. Actually, let's just go Mass Effect, but darker.
Oh,
that's the best way I can do it.
Yes.
In a lot of cases, it's like 40K without the multitudinous chaos forces that are out there. There's several ways that you could paint this, but it's basically soldiers in space. Martyrius Rex, that cloak, is a reference to Galaxy's Edge.
That's so awesome.
So the guys, the guys at Arrowhead know about Galaxy's Edge. There's no other way around it. And there are a couple more hints with like some of the armor sets that they have, with how they put them together, because they match some of the concept art that the artists have used for the book series as well. So I just think that's really cool. Like my point to stating this all is I really respect any kind of nerd that is like just unabashed okay with combining so many different things that they have been passionate about over the years in paying homage. Because it's not something that we see often, because so many people are like, we can't do that because of copyright. Well, if you do it the right way, you can skirt a lot of copyright, and you could still make the people that are in charge and or ask them about it, and they'll probably say, yeah, we don't mind. You're changing some stuff out, but still kind of referencing it. That's really cool. Thanks. I just love when worlds collide.
Ah, when worlds collide.
That's a what what's the band name for it? Hang on.
Take your
I gotta
time.
figure this out. Is it Power Man 5000? When Worlds Collide. Yep, there it is. Okay.
Yep, there it is. Power Man 5000. Yeah. Bless your face.
That one I know from an old PS1 game called Omega Boost.
Oh, I remember Omega Boost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but dude, I've loved that every question has been such an intricate response to you, and from you to yourself. I'm sure you're looking in a mirror the whole time you're doing the podcast. Because if I was you, I would be doing that all the time.
Oh God, you're crazy, buddy. No, I'm not
crazy
doing that.
about you. Shit, girl, guy, whatever you want to be. You know, it's 2024. Shit. Well, I've got the puppy going crazy upstairs and the kids freaking out. So we should probably start wrapping it up here.
Probably.
Which is what I should have done. Not have these kids. Hey! Oh!
I see what you did there.
That's what I didn't do. Hey.
That too. I will say though, this was great fun, and
I really enjoyed this.
Maybe down the line, or maybe if the community demands it, we have to do some more of it, and maybe they'll actually act on the whole, oh, I can have some fun with this line.
I know, yeah. We
maybe
had 5
actually
people
have some
were
fun.
like, this is gonna be great questions, and then they never said anything except this will be good. So,
yeah. Well, guess what? They missed their chance.
They sure did. This will absolutely happen again, buddy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna say this was a lot of fun. If we ever get some other possible crosstalk with somebody else, if they would love to join us, I'm totally fine with that too. Like, this is good.
Oh, yeah.
Good building experience.
There'll definitely be some group shows at some point. I mean, it's my fucking podcast. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
This is very true. I mean, one of these days we have to have it where Bill is answering questions for me, and then I have to respond and be like, well, actually, like a Reddit mod, and then it'll work out well. Yeah. I gotta be the Reddit mod of my own freaking life. Thanks a lot, Bill.
It's like a full-time job, though, man. Good for you.
It pretty well is. You know, I gotta make sure that the BO stink stays on me the whole time too.
Anywho, I mean, you know, we're not like, none of us really making anything anymore, but is there anything you wanted to plug or at all?
Nah,
that's fine. He's in the Discord, really folks.
Yeah.
Beard Grizzly.
Adam.
I'm
just happy to be here and to work with you guys. And I know if I ever start doing something again, I'll just post it in general or wherever Fudd doesn't want me to post it, because I'll do it anyway and he'll have to live with it. And
I'll just delete it.
That'll be it. No, that's very true. You could do that.
I will definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to spite me now. You know, it's fair though. It's fair.
Why is it fair?
Well, it's fair if you delete it. It is your server.
That's true. Yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Exactly.
I'm gonna start posting dick pics. Yeah.
Oh, well, you do have an NSFW for that.
I do indeed. Hey. And an OnlyFans channel.
Yes, you do. Yes. You do have that OnlyFans channel. That is true.
Well, play Helldivers with us.
But
tag him. Well, you got to go to the Discord channel for OnlyFans. Everything you need's right there. There's a bunch of links.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's very fair. That's very fair.
Play Helldivers with us. Tag Beard.
If you guys ever want to play Helldivers and Fudd's not around or something, just ping me.
If I'm playing, it's usually with Beard, so he'll be there.
Yeah.
If you want to learn stuff, Beard will be there. If you don't want to learn stuff and still have stuff thrown at you, Beard will be there.
I'll throw stuff at you. I won't announce it, and then you'll be like, could you please teach me how to do things? You'll learn one way or another.
Yes.
Rust me.
Did you just rust you? What does that mean, to rust someone?
I said trust.
The T got cut out, man. You just said rust me. What does that even mean?
Well, I don't know. Adam Baldwin. Moving on.
Okay. Yeah. All right, folks. So that's another episode of Get On In Here in the books. Do you, we have to exit the show somehow. Some people have made up a song. Some people have told a joke. Some people just rambled. Something. How do you want to end your episode? I don't have any. I haven't. It's been very requested to never pay someone to like make bumpers and all that stuff, and we just fucking make it up on the fly.
It's midnight. We got 10 grand. or wearing full tank of gas, or wearing sunglasses.
You missed. We're on a mission from God.
No, I didn't.
Oh, but he says it.
Yeah, well,
you just misquoted it.
I don't misquote things, Fudd. I know exactly what I'm saying.
But you just misquoted it.
No, no, I didn't.
There's the quote, and the proper way to quote it, and the thing you said was the wrong quote.
Do you know why I didn't misquote it?
Because it was from a different movie, quoting the movie that I'm thinking of, and
no, because I'm on a mission from God.
Oh, folks, the old loop-de-loo wrapped about. Look at you go, stud. Laid it up and slam dunked it. Hot damn.
Boom.
Well played. Everybody, us, you, them.
Yes.
I love that movie.
Everybody.
Let's get it started. Hot. I'm just kidding. Wrong song.
No.
It'd been amazing if they did that.
That'd
been amazing if they did that.
No.
Come on.
No.
Yeah. Everyone was thinking it. Everyone was humming it. And I just brought it forward.
If they were, one, they're in the wrong time generation. Two, I would just need to have some more rawhide afterward.
I brought it forward like Dan Aykroyd did with the harmonica. That's all I'm saying.
Two fried chickens and a Coke, please.
How many cop cars do you think they crashed at the very end? Because that was a lot.
I mean, the amount of angles that they had to like shoot that at and do it first time. You know it had to be first time.
That's the time.
And only first time.
You couldn't do that. Yeah. Oh. And the amount of times you saw something crumble even more and you went, I bet they didn't plan for that to happen.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things that like Killzone 2 talked about back in the day when they